Hey everybody, a quick little video here on the cold steel Special Forces shovel. I got this fairly cheaply, 25 bucks on Amazon. It's pretty popular. There's lots of videos on it. A lot of people like it. I think I got a pretty decent one. It's got a nice edge on there. It's not razor sharp, but it is definitely sharp. I wouldn't think that you'd need to sharpen this up anymore unless you wanted to. But the only issue really is well, first of all, it feels great. It feels great in the hand. I think it's going to be way better than one of those like folding shovels, like a military surplus, like folding shovel kind of a deal. This is going to serve you better, I think. And for the price, it's hard to beat the different functions it can do. But anyway, the only problem is that the handle, it says it's a hardwood. I don't know what kind of hardwood. Hopefully it's hickory or something. But only real problem is you get the handle, and I sanded mine, but it has like, it's kind of shiny, and so there's some sort of lacquer on it or something, some varnish. It's you can tell it's kind of cheap and quickly done. And so in some other videos I've seen people like scraping it off and whatever. I don't think you need to go that far. I just took a 220 grit, just old, already been used on the orbital sander, but these Diablo sander discs last a pretty long time. And I just spent a couple minutes and sanded the varnish right off. No scraping, no chemicals that you need to use or anything like that. And now it's the nice and smooth, feels great. It's totally off. I don't think you need to go any farther than that. So I think the only thing you really need to do to this to make it just a little bit better, some people like to, take a torch and like burn it a little bit or whatever. I mean, that's just for aesthetics. You can customize it if you want to, but I just want to do it quick, short, and dirty. So really all you got to do is get some 220, sand all that varnish off so that it's not shiny anymore. Make sure you get everywhere. You can tell that this is like, it was in like a lathe that they were spinning in order to like, cut everything down and make it fit and make this. I like the fact that it's got the knob on the end, so it's not going to slide out of your hand. That's a nice touch. But really all you got to do after you sand all that varnish off with a 220, I don't think you need to go any finer than a 220. But really all you got to do, in my opinion, is to nourish the wood with some boiled linseed oil. And this is something that you can do on all your wooden handled tools, hammers, axes, hatchets. It's actually something they should do as like a part of regular maintenance. Another thing I want to mention is that it's nice. It's got a weld here. It's got screws. So if you were like out in the bush, in the field, and you for some reason break your handle, you can make one, fashion one, and just screw it right back in. Some people I've noticed, in order to work on their handle or do something, or they say if you really need to make it, you're backpacking or something, and you want to make it smaller, to just take the screws out, separate them, so that it gets a little bit more compact. But I think that it's gonna, at least in the long run, be a bad idea to be, unscrewing out of wood and then trying to screw it back in and doing that over and over again. Eventually, like, the holes are gonna get ruined and it's not gonna work. So I do not recommend that anybody take these screws out at all. Just leave them. Don't take them down, or don't take them out to separate the handle either, for like travel or anything like that, or backpacking or whatever. Just leave it. Just leave it. It's good. It's solid the way it is. So yeah, try not to mess with it too much, even if you have the urge. So the only thing I'm going to do to mine is sand all that varnish or lacquer or whatever it is off. That's crap. It can give you like more blisters and whatever. So I don't even know why they do that. It's cheap anyway. Maybe it's just for shipping purposes, but get all that crap off there so that it's nice. And then take your boiled linseed oil. Just buy a gallon of it. It's not super expensive. I like to put it in a smaller bottle so it's easier to apply. But some people like to wear gloves for this, but I don't really care. Definitely wash your hands after though, because if you had sensitive skin or something, it might kind of burn you just a little bit. Not burn, but uncomfortable. Anyway, so I'm just going to take a little bit on like a shop towel here, not a ton, and then I'm just gonna polish her up here. Definitely anything that boiled linseed oil gets on, so like you could use a rag, but you're gonna want to throw the rag away. So put down some cardboard or some newspapers or whatever. Let's get some more on there. Be like kind of liberal with it, but not too liberal. Not Democrat level of liberal. Get it on there. Get it on there. And it should just soak it right up like a sponge. And so what you're going to want to do is kind of keep putting it on there until it doesn't really seem to be soaking up anymore. And then can also get up here in the handle. And then what I'm going to recommend is, it can take a lot. It can take several coats. So there's sort of a rule of thumb when it comes to, like, let's say you get a brand new fancy axe. And, you know, maybe you sand it just a little tiny bit to make sure, you know, it's nice and smooth with a 220 grit. There's not anything rough or any burrs anywhere. The edge on mine, some people complain about burrs on the edge of their shovel, but mine, I got a good one. Mine's really good. So usually when you get a wooden handled tool like this, there's sort of a rule of thumb that you can do. Some people might think this is overkill and too much, and maybe it is. But basically you get a new tool like this, and it only takes you 2 minutes. You take a shop towel, you boil linseed oil, take 2 minutes, and you do this once a week, or every day for a week. And then after that, then you do it once a week for a month. And then after that, you do it once a month for a year. And then, because it's got a nice, it's just, you know, it's soaked up, it's protected it. It's like lotion for wood is kind of what boiled linseed oil is. You can also use the flaxseed oil, but that's really expensive and it takes a long time to dry. Boiled linseed oil will dry better, and it won't take forever. So boiled linseed oil is fine and cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. So what I'll probably do is I'll just do this once a day for a week. Make sure it's nice and good and soaked in there. Make sure I get it up here where it goes into the shovel. Or the spade. It should really be called a spade. It's not really a full-size shovel. So I'll just do that. It'll make the wood look a lot nicer. So then do it however much you want. You don't have to be super OCD about it. You can do what you want, as much or little as you like. It will, at some point, it'll, like a sponge, it'll be saturated and it won't want to take it anymore. you know, it'll take a month before it'll want more again. And then what you can do is after it's nice and good, then all you want to do is take some steel wool. You could do like a fine, like a double aught or quadruple aught even. I kind of do like a coarser and then a finer, and I'm not going to do it since it's not ready for it yet, but then you burnish it and you take your steel wool and you just like give it a good rub down, and it will be nice and smooth. It will feel great in your hand. The wood will be protected and nourished, because this is the kind of, you know, this is going to take some abuse. Now, a lot of people like to throw these like it's a hatchet, a tomahawk or something, and you totally can. You know, if a bear's chasing me in the woods or something and I got to get to my rifle, you know, that's 15, 20 feet away or something like that, and, you know, I'm just processing some firewood or something like that, and I got to throw this at a bear quick before I can get to my rifle, totally would do it. But I don't actually recommend that you throw this for fun unless you don't care about breaking your handle, because eventually you're just going to break your handle. You're going to miss, it's going to bang around. Eventually you're just going to break your handle. So if you want to keep your handle intact and not have to replace it, definitely just don't throw it. You could, you know, for fun a couple of times, but I wouldn't a lot, because, you know, it'll break eventually. So avoid throwing it unless you really have to. Or realize that if you do, it's going to break. So anyway, guys, hopefully this was not too long, but yeah, I recommend this as a pretty good survival tool. Compact, get a sheath for it. I don't know if I'm going to get the cold steel sheath that's made for it, because it seems kind of chintzy. Doesn't have the straps I want on the back, so that I can, you know, so that you can put it on, you know, Molly on like a back of a backpack or something like that. But maybe I'll make one, maybe I'll find a better one, but definitely get a sheath for it so you can carry it around easier. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna probably put this to some hard use, some hard digging use. So probably do a review later. Alright guys, here you go. That's how you can care for your wooden handles on really any tool, but this is a good tool, cheap, lots of uses, better than a folding shovel for sure. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Till next time.